Have you ever heard of a love story? Born inside a prison? A story where a woman went to save her son, but ended up marrying a prisoner and giving birth inside the jail itself? This isn't a movie. This is the unbelievable yet true story of Andrea Casamento. It all started one sunny weekend in 2004. Andrea, a 40-year-old mother of three, was living a peaceful life in Buenos Aires. She was relaxing by the pool with friends, laughing, without a care in the world. And then, her phone rang. A voice on the other end delivered news that made her heart stop. "Your son, Juan, has been arrested for robbery." Andrea couldn't believe it. Her 18-year-old boy? An armed robber? In her swimsuit, she jumped in her car and sped to the police station. "I was sure it was a mistake," she later recalled. "My son couldn't have done this." But this was just the beginning of her nightmare. A few nights earlier, a massive public protest had swept through Buenos Aires. A teenage boy had been tragically murdered, and people were demanding harsher punishments for criminals. Andrea herself had been at that protest, holding a candle and shouting for justice. She had no idea that her own son would soon be branded as one of those very criminals. The police claimed Juan had stolen just 4 empanadas, 4 small pastries, at knife point. The next morning, Andrea rushed to court, confident she could clear his name. But the judge wouldn't even look at her. He said coldly, "I don't want protests outside my court. Your son will stay in prison until further notice." And just like that, Andrea's world shattered. Without a trial, Juan was sent to Ezeiza, a high-security prison over an hour away. Andrea had never set foot in a prison before. When she arrived, she saw something she would never forget: a long line of women, mothers, wives, and girlfriends, waiting patiently for hours with bags of supplies. This was known as the line. "I didn't think I belonged there," she said. "Those women, they were from another world. I didn't realize I had just become one of them." For the next 8 months, Andrea's life revolved around that prison. She visited 4 times a week. 2 days were official visiting days. The other 2? She just stood outside the gate, waiting. "Because if they ever brought my son out dead," she explained, "I wanted to be there to hold him. I brought him into this world. I had to be the first to hold him if he left it." Every night she prayed for his survival. Every day she lived in fear of a devastating phone call. And then, one day, that call came. But it wasn't the one she expected. It was from a man named Alejo, another prisoner inside Ezeiza. He told her gently, "Stay calm. Juan is alive. There was a fight, and he's in isolation, but he's okay." That single phone call changed everything. From that day on, Alejo kept calling. At first, he just gave updates about her son. But soon, their conversations deepened. They talked about life, fear, and dreams. Andrea felt completely alone. Her friends didn't understand, and her family told her to give up. But this man, a prisoner she'd never even met, made her laugh. "He was the only one," she said, "who made this hell a little less painful." Alejo wasn't a saint. He was serving a long sentence for multiple robberies. But to Andrea, he wasn't just a number. He was someone who understood her suffering. "He helped me fight for my son," she said. "He told me where to go, which papers to file, which doors to knock on." Driven by this newfound hope, Andrea sold her house to pay for a lawyer and moved in with her mother. After 8 long, agonizing months, her fight finally paid off. The lawyer proved Juan's innocence, and he was released. Her son was free. But Andrea wasn't. Her heart was still trapped inside Ezeiza prison with Alejo. Even after her son came home, Andrea continued visiting the prison, every single week, for the next 15 years. She explained, "My son's imprisonment opened my eyes to a world I never saw before. But my love for Alejo, that was my choice. I didn't fall in love with a prisoner. I fell in love with Alejo. It just happened that he was in prison." During their visits, the prison walls seemed to melt away. We'd sit across a small table, talk, laugh. It felt like a cafe, she recalled. Just seeing him was enough. That little piece of happiness, I couldn't give it up. One day, while filling out yet another mountain of prison paperwork, Andrea joked, "Maybe we should get married. That might make all this bureaucracy easier." She was kidding. But Alejo wasn't. He looked at her seriously and said, "Let's do it." And just like that, he arranged everything. Andrea walked into the prison, and right there, surrounded by gray walls, they were married. After the ceremony, she walked out alone, smiling. But the surprises weren't over. One of the other women from the line was waiting for her outside. She laughed and said, "How can you just go home after getting married? Come on, let's celebrate." And so Andrea drank a beer right there outside the prison gate, a small, defiant toast to her love. Over time, Andrea became a bridge between the inside and the outside world. She even helped Alejo reconnect with his own daughter. Then one day, Alejo told her, "I want another child, a new life." Andrea hesitated. She was already in her 40s. But after everything she had lost, the idea of creating a new life felt like exactly what she needed. And so, amidst guards, walls, and rules, they conceived a child. In June of 2005, Andrea was once again standing in that familiar line outside Iziza. But this time, she was in labor. "The women in line stood by me," she said. They forced the nurse to call Alejo from his cell so he could hear the birth of his son on the phone. Their baby boy, Joaquin, was born, a symbol of hope in the most hopeless of places. Through the prison phone, Alejo heard his son's first cry and wept. 15 years later, Alejo was finally released. But Andrea found herself terrified all over again. This time, not of losing him, but of living with him. In prison, his world was safe, structured. Outside, it was chaos, she said. We had to learn how to live together again. Today, Andrea, Alejo, and their children live as a family. It's not perfect, but it's real. Like every family, she smiles, we fight, we argue, we make up. But we know one thing, no matter what, we'll always be there for each other. Her incredible life inspired a movie, now on Netflix, aptly named after that long queue of waiting women. On the poster, there's a quote that says it all. "Sometimes love doesn't set you free. It finds you behind bars." Andrea's story is powerful proof that even in the darkest of places, humanity and love can find a way to bloom. Thank you so much for watching. If you were moved by this story, please give this video a like and subscribe for more unbelievable true stories. We'll see you in the next one.